Tonight, honoring peacekeepers, past and present.
They have done incredible things and incredible deeds to ensure that this world is a safer place.
Today marks National Peacekeepers Day in Canada, the occasion marked by a ceremony here in the capital. Improving safety on a dangerous stretch of Highway 138.
There's nothing wrong with the road itself. It's the speeders that's the problem.
The province launching a design study and environmental assessment of the highway 1 year after the tragic death of a mother. And making new friends in a digital world.
I just posted a video, and I thought it was going to be like 20 people that show up. I think we got over 100,000 views and like thousands of comments.
A local tattoo artist brings together more than 100 people for a unique event away from the screens. Good evening. We begin tonight with a day of remembrance for the Canadians who have served in the name of peace. Veterans, current members of the military and the RCMP gathering today here in Ottawa to mark National Peacekeepers Day, honoring decades of service and remembering those who never came home. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now in studio, and Josh, today certainly holds a special significance.
Yeah, it does, Austin. Today marks 52 years since Canada suffered its largest single loss of life on a peacekeeping mission. A history those gathered today say can't be forgotten.
Peacekeeping is a tradition that has brought Canadians pride.
Every August 9th, they come together to remember. And for many, the memories stretch far beyond this monument.
Some of the things we saw, we witnessed over there, it makes us appreciate so much in Canada what we have.
Samson Young retired this May after more than 35 years of service. His last peacekeeping tour took him to the Democratic Republic of the Congo in 2013.
Remember that the people were still doing what we did, and they also put themselves in harm's way. There's someone's son, someone's daughter.
August 9th marks a painful tragedy. In 1974, 9 Canadian peacekeepers were killed when their UN transport plane was shot down over Syria. Now the day stands as National Peacekeepers Day.
At that time, I was only a year and a half old. And so for me, I'm here to honor their sacrifices, honor their service. They have done incredible things and incredible deeds to ensure that this world is a safer place.
Since 1948, more than 125,000 Canadian Armed Forces members and 4,000 RCMP members have served on international peace-supporting missions.
They went into environments that were incredibly difficult. It's hard to keep the peace between two parties that are not necessarily ready to find peace. And so the courage, the empathy, the compassion, and the patience that is required is phenomenal.
For those who lived that service, coming together can bring those experiences back.
Extremely emotional, remembering all that's gone on. It's a difficult situation. Start thinking about things way back when we were overseas.
But it also means making sure those experiences and those who served are remembered.
I'm glad to see the young people, take on the torch and carry on.
A total of 130 Canadian Armed Forces members have lost their lives while serving on peacekeeping missions. National Peacekeepers Day has been marked every August 9th since 2008. Austin.
CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Josh, thank you very much for this. Well, after the tragic death of a mother last year on Highway 138, the province is looking for ways to improve safety on a stretch of road that drivers say poses real risks. CTV's Kimberly Johnson is now in studio with us after speaking with people in the area. So, Kimberly, what are you hearing?
Austin, Highway 138 is a busy road. It serves local drivers as well as those coming from Cornwall and Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. So there are many residents who are happy about the move, but there are other residents who say that these measures may not be enough.
For years, there have been calls for safety measures on Highway 138. Now they could be on the way.
It's dangerous. It would need improvement.
The Ministry of Transportation has launched a design study and environmental assessment of Highway 138. It comes after a mother, Amanda Maloney, was killed in March of last year at McNeil Road.
I usually don't take it if I don't have to when I'm driving locally.
Sarah Benton and her husband say it's not uncommon to hear of all kinds of accidents.
It's quick paced. People are usually generally speeding, over the speed limit because you can't pass. There's not much areas to pass.
The study is being done to address safety at intersections and stretches on the road between the 417 and the 401. It includes a number of intersections like McNeil Road.
This is something that needs to be addressed, and I'm just happy to hear that now we're moving one step closer to getting construction and shovels on the ground.
The warden of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas and Glengarry says turning lanes and passing lanes are being reviewed. But he says not enough important intersections are being looked at, like Laflèche Road, where dozens of trucks turn to reach the landfill every day.
The people that live in this community are the ones that are affected by this 138, the traffic that takes place. And I think it's our job to make sure that the province is aware of where we stand and what's needed to make sure it's a safe passage through our highway.
CTV News has reached out to the Ministry of Transportation, but we did not hear back before airtime. A photo of Maloney sits off the busy road at McNeil, where she was killed. As a reminder, residents say reducing speed has to be part of the solution.
Cracking down on the speeders. There's nothing wrong with the road itself.
I think more police presence, MTO, crack down on them guys. Speeding, man, it's bad road, bad habits.
The warden says he plans to bring it up to the province at the upcoming Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference, but in the meantime encourages residents to have their say on the study. A link can be found on North Stormont's website for that. Austin.
CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting for us tonight. Kimberly, thank you very much for this. Well, it was a warm day here in Ottawa and rather humid as well, but not quite as stifling as what we've seen in the past couple of weeks here. We did get up to a high of around 26 degrees, and that's where we're sitting right now. Some cloud coverage, especially earlier in the day. Some of that is lingering and will continue to do so into tonight with a low of 18 degrees. 14 is the cool spot in Bancroft for our region. 21 degrees is the low tonight in Montreal as Il Sonique, it continues, the EDM festival over there. 16 tonight is the low in Gatineau with a good amount of cloud coverage there. 25 degrees for tomorrow's high. Risk of a thunderstorm and some showers in the forecast. It's the same situation conditions-wise right across the region. 25 is the high tomorrow in Gatineau. A man was stabbed in Overbrook early this morning. Paramedics say it happened on Bernard Street near Queen Mary Street shortly after 1 a.m. A 34-year-old man was taken to the Montfort Hospital in stable condition after he suffered a minor wound to his head. Ottawa police say both people involved knew each other, and they say that there is no threat to public safety. There is still, however, no update on any arrests. Well, turning now to a positive development to a story we brought you just on Thursday. Kevin Shaw says his custom bike has been returned to him. The 54-year-old quadriplegic living with cerebral palsy says it was stolen last month between July 12th and 14th, but he now has it back. Shaw says someone spotted the bike near the garbage outside a Tim Hortons on Lancaster Road, and they returned it. He says he's thankful for the community's support. Well, now to developing news out of the West, where British Columbia's wildfire fight rages on.
Based on the advice of emergency officials, Minister Green has declared a provincial state of emergency.
That state of emergency comes in the wake of the fast-moving Bald Range fire sweeping through the Okanagan Valley, growing to over 100 square kilometers and forcing more than 20,000 people from the district of Summerland and Peachland to evacuate.
We know here in Okanagan it's not the first time, so most people always have an emergency package ready at the door. I would ask people who are on order, have some patience. Our experts are, that's our fire chief and the EOC, the emergency organization is working on that. We have a centralized emergency center, operations center, and they're taking care of everything. We depend on what they tell us.
Meanwhile, there are at least 100 active fires across the province, with around half of them still out of control. BC RCMP says it's also working to confirm a possible fatality from the fire in a community west of Summerland. The tragedy adding to the mounting frustration and devastation that's being felt by those impacted by the flames. And Federal Emergency Minister Eleanor Olszewski says in a social media post that she has approved a request for federal assistance from British Columbia to provide shelter and accommodations for people who have been forced to leave their homes due to the wildfires across that province. The minister goes on to say that she has, quote, tasked federal officials led by the Government Operations Centre at Public Safety Canada to work with the province to ensure support reaches those who need it most. Well, trade talks with the U.S. are expected to continue, with a team of Canadian negotiators heading to Washington tomorrow. It comes amid the looming deadline of Trump's threatened tariffs that could hit Canadian imports starting August 19th. CTV's Michael Serapio reports.
It's a question now being asked. What concessions are Canadians willing to make?
I don't know what we could give that would ensure that we didn't have economic pain.
With trade talks entering another week, industry sources tell CTV News Ottawa is considering making concessions on U.S. cars and U.S. booze to avoid a new 50% tariff that would be applied on August 19.
I don't think we should be making any concessions.
I don't know. We've already done a lot.
There's going to have to be something.
This Sunday, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre released an early morning letter addressed to the Prime Minister. It warns Mark Carney against giving any ground to the U.S. unless concessions lead to free trade access for Canadian lumber, steel, cars, and aluminum. In the letter stating, our message is clear. We want the win and the good deal you promised 15 months ago. Canadians deserve a government that has the backbone to fight for our workers, our families, and every inch of our sovereignty. But it's unclear if free trade is even possible. For the past year, U.S. officials have been very clear they are committed to tariffs. And that's led some to believe free trade, as Canadians have known it, is dead.
That's gone. I think what we're going to see now is some kind of broadly managed trade agreement where the three countries can put limits on how much they export.
For now focused on the current round of trade talks to avoid the immediate tariff threat. Michael Serapio, CTV News, Ottawa.
And you can stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of Canada-U.S. trade talks. For updates on radio, tune in to News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. World Health Organization data show Canada has about half as many confirmed measles cases as the U.S., despite having just 1/10 the population. The WHO says nearly 47,000 measles cases have been reported across the Americas this year, already 3 times the total from all of last year. That includes more than 2,200 cases in the U.S., and about 1,100 cases in Canada. The organization says 45 people have died from the measles in the region this year, mostly in Guatemala and in Mexico. Worldwide, roughly 186,000 cases have been reported. That's up 12% from this time last year. And Canadians are still being asked to roll up their sleeves and donate blood after a summer slowdown left the national supply under strain. Canadian Blood Services says more people have been coming in to donate since it first flagged a nearly 20% drop in blood supply in July, with communities across the country rallying to help. But suppliers are still low for several blood types. In a statement to CTV News earlier this month, a spokesperson said weekly appointments were back in the optimal range of about 18,000, and inventory levels had improved. As of Wednesday, some blood types remain in critically low supply, with less than 8 days' worth on hand. Well, a new study commissioned by the federal government has found anti-Semitism is a rampant systemic problem on post-secondary campuses right across the country. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what some students are facing.
Anti-Semitism on campus in Ottawa made Alexa Barrett-Toller feel frustrated and alone.
The professor actually decided to explicitly say that the Jewish people were to blame for October 7th.
Carleton University wouldn't respond directly, telling CTV News it condemns all forms of racism and discrimination. But Barrett-Toller's experiences aren't unique. A group of students shouted, "There's a Jew, let's get him." They then chased him out of the building. I dropped out. It is open season on Jewish students. I was told to go die when I said I was a Jew from Israel. Just some of the anonymous comments in the government-commissioned survey of 900 Jewish students across the country.
It affects how they speak, it affects how they study, it affects how they dress, how they identify, and how they participate in university life.
The survey found 96% of respondents experienced or witnessed anti-Semitism in the past year. Almost 1/5 of incidents involved faculty members, and 68% said their campus isn't safe for Jewish students.
Professors are
essentially teaching people what to think and not how to think.
I personally absolutely dread going to campus.
Not a new problem, but statistics show anti-Semitism has soared since the October 7th massacre. Anastasia Zorchinsky is suing Concordia in part for neglecting to prevent and address harm and hate. The school wouldn't comment on the lawsuit, but said it is committed to combating anti-Semitism.
I was screamed at, I was harassed by people. I saw someone say that they support Hamas in front of my eyes.
I'm here to be a proud Jewish student.
And while the report found more than half of students avoid Jewish symbols like kippahs or Stars of David, Barrett Toller proudly wears hers, now working as an advocate to help other Jewish students.
I'm scared. We're all scared. But at the end of the day, if I hide it, I'm feeding into the negative.
In the wake of this report, a number of Jewish advocacy groups are calling for concrete action from university leaders and all levels of government. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Air Canada has announced it will be further delaying its flights to Dubai and Tel Aviv until January. The latest travel update comes after Air Canada first canceled flights to both destinations on February 28th, when the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran first began. Service to Dubai was expected to resume in October, with flights now being pushed to mid-January as uncertainty from the war continues to affect air travel in the region. Air Canada is expected to resume service to Tel Aviv around the same time. The airline says Canadians with scheduled trips to the Middle East may be able to rebook to a later date without paying additional fees, change their destination, or cancel their trip for a travel credit, depending on their circumstances. Well, back here in Ottawa, a local tattoo artist has hosted his first Slow Sunday event at the Akora Centre today, helping people make new friends and build connections with a run that ended with poetry and a picnic in the park. A nice event, and CTV's Camille Wilson was there this morning. She's back in studio to tell us all about it. Camille.
Well, Austin, Nico Winter considers himself a shy guy. He's trying to build community away from the screens. He says too many people are getting caught up in the likes, views, and followers, and still feeling lonely.
I didn't think this many people would come.
Local tattoo artist Nico Winter is trying something new to bring his community together.
I posted a video on Instagram like 2 weeks ago, and I've never been to a run club. I've never been to a poetry reading thing.
Posting a video online saying he was looking for friends, stepping out of his comfort zone.
I think it'd be really cute if we do like a poetry reading thing. I've always written and played music and done poetry and stuff, but I've never expressed it outwardly anywhere. And same thing with running. Like, I've always kind of done it like in secret a little bit. Let's go.
Putting together his first Slow Sunday event for anyone looking to join him for a morning run, poetry, and a picnic.
It's hard to talk. It's hard to chat with people. So when you put yourself in those positions, then you just get better at them, right? If you avoid them, you won't get better at chatting.
A big turnout Sunday with about 150 people from experienced to beginner runners.
I'm a little bit scared, but I guess I can run slow, and I hope to find people that run slow as well, and also to get tips from people that have been running for a much longer time.
Winter was worried when he realized he needed a permit from the city to host an event in a park, but the Akora Centre came to the rescue.
I saw a video that said he's not getting the permit to host this event, which is when I texted and I was like, we have space, come here.
Ending the morning with local poets and storytellers sharing their work.
I'm so proud of everyone that's going to come up and that it's going to be their first time speaking.
Nice to meet you guys.
The mission behind the event, to make friends.
I thought it was a great opportunity to meet some of my neighbors. I think nowadays it's getting difficult to kind of break the ice, meet new people, meet your neighbors.
Just building community, and, you know, especially with social media, like, it's so toxic and consuming.
Putting together an event for people to express their own creativity in a different way and pushing people to socialize more. The next event will take place September 6th at Andrew Hayden Park, Austin.
What a nice event, Camille. Thank you very much for this. CTV's Camille Wilson reporting for us tonight.
My deductible from my insurance, I could recoup that maybe. That'd be good.
Still ahead, widespread flooding in some parts of Ontario, sparking calls for the province to step up with support. We'll have those details after the break. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is currently 25 degrees. Cleanup is underway southeast of London, Ontario, after a massive storm flooded multiple communities. Officials say over 200 millimeters of rain came down in less than 2 hours. CTV's Brent Lale reports.
Water rushes through the fairway at the Bluffs Golf Club just outside Port Stanley.
The water was about a knee-high deep. Now it's bone dry. You couldn't even tell that we had anything over here.
Even though it has subsided, there's still at least 2 days worth of work to get the course ready for play.
Almost every single one of the paths on the course is on a hill, so every single one of them has tended to wash out quite fast.
In nearby Fingal, a state of emergency has been called after close to 200 millimeters of rain fell Friday. Some roads have been washed out and crops have been damaged.
Next steps are getting our roads back in shape. We have graders out and the crews out with some dump trucks spreading gravel. It's better than we thought it might be when you see 3 or 4 feet of water over breaching the road.
After what the township is calling a 1 in 250 year storm event, residents are trying to get their houses and basements clean.
This here is all the underpadding and stuff that's damaged from downstairs. It was all flooded out.
Provincial ministers Rob Flack and Jill Dunlop have been in contact with the township of Southold. They will be providing a disaster relief fund for residents impacted by the flooding.
My deductible from my insurance, I could recoup that maybe. That'd be good.
George Henshaw and others are pointing the finger at the township, contending a project to replace storm sewers actually made the flooding worse. However, the mayor contends it wouldn't have mattered because the new sewers still wouldn't have had capacity.
We did have our new stormwater management pond and shed and tested. It's designed to a 250-year event, and it actually breached it as well.
Henshaw says he's putting his fate in his own hands going forward.
I'm not going to hook up to the municipal drain. I'm going to dig a hole here about 6 feet deep, 3 feet across, fill it with gravel, run my drain into that. So, because if that ever plugged up again, all the water would back up into my house. Right. So it's not going to happen.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Well, we do have some rain in the forecast here in our region, certainly not what they are experiencing in some other parts as we just saw, but it was a nice day today, a little cloud coverage, but beautiful. Down at the Rideau Locks, lots of people out exploring and some boats as well, working their way up and towards and into the Rideau Canal. A nice day for that as well. Again, a little bit humid, but not too bad. The satellite radar showing that we did have some cloud coverage rolling through, and we do expect some rain over the next 7 days. We're going to start out east. It's foggy in St. John's, 10 degrees there, 27 in Fredericton, 25 degrees, mostly cloudy in Halifax. We're also sitting at 25 degrees with cloud coverage. It's 25 degrees in Windsor, 26 out in Toronto. Out on the prairies, 22 degrees in Calgary and 15 degrees in Regina. So a bit cooler out in Regina, not too far off Baker Lake, all the way up north at 13 degrees with rain in the forecast. Cloud coverage in Vancouver in 21 degrees. So us here in the capital expecting a low tonight of 18 degrees, so not much of a cool down before we get up to about 25 degrees tomorrow afternoon with a chance of showers, the potential risk of a thunderstorm as well. Similar conditions in the Ottawa Valley for tomorrow afternoon, getting up to 26 degrees, and for the Seaway, it's copy and paste from Ottawa, 25, that same chance of showers, and the same overnight low of 18 degrees. The next 7 days, what do we have in store? A bit of rain for tomorrow, as I alluded to, and then a nice sunny day on Tuesday, 30% chance of some precipitation on Wednesday, another high of 25 degrees, 26 on Thursday, with a 40% chance of rain. So a bit of a mixed bag all throughout the next week or so. A nice day as well on Saturday with nothing but sun in the forecast, 25 degrees. It's not going to be too overwhelmingly warm, which is good news for a lot of people, sticking in the mid-20s for the next 7 days. Well, it was one of the largest cybersecurity breaches in history. Connor Muka has pleaded guilty to being involved in an international data breach. The widespread computer hacking saw dozens of organizations compromised, billions of customer records stolen, and the extortion of numerous victims. CTV's Karis Mapp has more on the guilty plea and what comes next.
A guilty plea from Connor Muka, also known as Alexander Muka. The 26-year-old was alleged to have been involved in a major international cybersecurity breach, targeting 165 companies such as AT&T, Ticketmaster, and Advance Auto Parts, who were all using Snowflake, a cloud-based data company, to store sensitive customer information.
The cloud database got hacked, and this guy, or these guys, I should say, made off with a whole bunch of customer data from all of these different companies, and then they started extorting people and extorting the companies for money.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Muka and other co-conspirators collected over $2.5 million in ransom payments.
This is a very popular story amongst individuals that follow cybersecurity, especially from a criminal perspective. It involves multiple jurisdictions. It involves multiple organizations.
Muka was arrested at his home in the Stanley Park area of Kitchener in October 2024. Some cybersecurity experts say they were surprised to see this scale of crime being carried out in Canada.
The vast majority of these criminal enterprises do operate from other jurisdictions where Western law enforcement has a harder time reaching out and apprehending them.
Muka was extradited to the United States in July of last year. On Wednesday, he pleaded guilty to computer fraud, wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and a related conspiracy. In a release from the DOJ, the Assistant Attorney General saying today's guilty plea serves a reminder to all cyber criminals, regardless of where they live, that they cannot hide behind a wall of anonymity. You will be found and brought to justice.
I think back in the early 80s, you might have seen some hesitation or uncertainty as to how prosecutors might go after these crimes, which at that time were quite novel. Now it's fairly routine.
Likely only growing more common with continued technological advancements.
As our lives become more digital and go more online, hackers and fraudsters are going to exploit that.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Forward sent away, but not clear. Back in towards the middle, and Forbes is there to put it away.
Still ahead, Ottawa's Rapid FC looks to stay hot, and big news out of the Northern Super League when it comes to the nation's capital. There's a look at the Water Lantern Festival this weekend over at Andrew Hayden Park. People were invited to personalize lanterns with messages or intentions, and at sunset, launch the lanterns onto the water. The event aims to bring hope, love, happiness, and healing for everyone participating. Well, people across Calgary are remembering the young boy with autism who went missing for nearly 2 weeks before his remains were eventually found. As CTV's Kathy Lee shows us, the family's ask to honor him comes as calls for a new national alert system ramp up.
Walking in the park with the family dog, taking a short stroll with community members, or swinging in the playground with Grandpa. Across Calgary, people spent time with those they love while honoring a boy who touched their hearts.
We're just celebrating Parker.
I'm just really sorry for what happened to Parker.
We want to support Parker. The support inspired by Parker Wells' family, encouraging Calgarians to remember him in the moments they share this weekend. This family visited one of the memorials dedicated to the 11-year-old.
I feel like very heartbroken.
His story hit especially close to home.
We have a son also, who is 11 years old, and he's autistic too. So we are feel the pain of the Parker as well.
Parker, who had autism, went missing last month. Hundreds of officers and thousands of Calgarians joined the search. Nearly 2 weeks later, his body was found in a 4-foot water pipe, part of a larger network of pipes and tunnels. Calgary mourned the loss in a public vigil at City Hall, where hundreds gathered to pay their respects. As the remembrance continues, so does the push for a public online petition to create a national indigo alert for missing neurodivergent people, now with more than 37,000 signatures. Organizer Jen Bull says the next step is to get an official petition.
MP Mike Lake from Leduc and Wetaskiwin, and he officially has said that we need a member of Parliament to bring this petition into House of Commons, and he's going to be that person.
As work continues to better protect vulnerable missing people, a community deeply moved by one boy
in our whole life. Yeah, I miss forever.
Will keep him in their thoughts wherever their day takes them. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
In tonight's Big Picture, dramatic new video from a Japanese hospital showing the moments a deadly earthquake struck the country last month. An abdominal surgery was underway when the room started shaking. Two medical staff clung onto the operating table, showing incredible composure and shielding the patient with their bodies. As equipment swayed around violently, a nurse is seen opening a door to secure an evacuation route. The hospital says 4 surgeries were underway when the earthquake hit, and all 4 were successful. Well, turning now to some of the other stories you need to know, starting off with another dazzling display in the sky last night. Fireworks lighting up the sky in Ottawa and Gatineau last night at Les Grands Feux du Casino Lac Limy. Last night it was Brazil's time to shine with their display inspired by the Rio Carnival. Up next, a team from China will present their show they say is inspired by Vivaldi's 4 Seasons. Those fireworks are set to start at 9:30 p.m. Wednesday.
Here for the Rapid to equalize Freeland's ball. It's a good one, headed on and in! They've got it back, goal again!
The red-hot Ottawa Rapid hosting AFC Toronto this afternoon, and this was exciting. Nicola Golan with 2 goals in the match. The biggest coming in stoppage time, that one there, to force a 2-2 draw. They play next on Saturday in Calgary against Wild FC. And the Northern Super League announced today that Ottawa will host the 2026 NSL Final at TD Place Stadium on November 14th. Canada's 2 top women's professional soccer clubs will compete for the Diana B. Matheson Cup and the league championship. Ottawa has quickly established itself as one of the country's strongest soccer markets. Canada's last standing singles tennis player, Leylah Fernandez, will look to recreate this moment when she defeated Naomi Osaka at the 2021 U.S. Open. She'll look to recreate it tonight. The 2 tennis stars facing one another at the National Bank Open in the round of 16. That match is set to begin at 7 o'clock.
Oh, he's got Snyder's stick, which is a right shot.
Dupont plays it back around. Shoot, scores!
Well, the final of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup under-18 hockey tournament between Canada and the U.S. turned into a blowout in Edmonton last night. The Canadians outshot the Americans 45-17, dominating the game on their way to an 8-1 win. And this was a redemption win for the Canadians after falling to the Americans in a shootout in the semifinal in last year's tournament on their way to a bronze medal. A special exhibit, Wild Color, continues at the Canadian Museum of Nature, exploring the beauty and science of color in the natural world. There are nearly 200 specimens, audio stories, and more, revealing how living things use color to communicate, attract, and survive. The exhibit runs until January 10th.
Good job, team. You're looking so good.
And some outdoor movement on Parliament Hill this afternoon for Parliament Pilates. This free event kicked off at noon today. The next Pilates on Parliament Hill gets underway Tuesday, August 18th. There is no sign-up required. All you need to do is bring a mat and a water bottle.
I saw so many. I was surrounded. They were fluttering all around me. And
coming up, an Ottawa woman's Monarch mission will explain how the heart-fluttering contributions are making a difference.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe.
Where foodies love their sweets.
And markets bursting with flavor.
Wrapped up in waterways.
And hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past.
Where people come together.
Always proud.
Often loud. Whee!
And positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Well, in case you missed it this week, we brought you the story of an Ottawa woman on a mission to help preserve one of nature's most revered winged species. CTV's Caitlin Wilson tells us more about the local do-gooder voluntarily doing her part, one monarch butterfly at a time.
Here we have eggs. It's arguably one of the most recognizable butterflies, but for Wendy Daniels, spotting a monarch never gets old.
Monarch butterflies are the epitome of fragility and strength. They're miraculous, and I love them.
She remembers growing up when monarchs seemed to be everywhere. Then, little by little, they weren't. Inspired by a documentary, she started counting. And this year, she's already at 87.
My count is up significantly. I haven't got over 50 monarchs since the pandemic.
A glimmer of hope for the monarch after years of decline driven by habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change. This year, experts say favorable weather in Mexico helped boost numbers.
Being higher doesn't mean we're fully out of the woods, but it's definitely a good sign.
They weigh less than a paperclip, yet every fall a special generation of monarchs flies nearly 4,000 kilometers to Mexico. The journey home, that takes 3 generations.
They need enough pollen flowers or nectaring flowers for them to feed on. And so if they don't have that habitat and those flowers on the route, they can't survive that migration.
In February, Daniels joined them for part of that journey, visiting the forest where millions of monarchs spend the winter.
It was magic. It's like nature is amazing if you just stop and wait for it.
And this year marks the 10th Monarch Monitoring Blitz, where volunteers track monarchs from caterpillars to butterflies and the milkweed where they lay their eggs. Anyone can help. All it takes is a cell phone.
There's an easy-to-use app called iNaturalist, which allows people to take a photo of any wildlife species. So essentially, if you can take a picture, you can help conservation.
And for Daniels, every monarch that finds her garden is one more reason to keep counting. Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Well, it may still be summer, but in less than a month, most Canadian kids will be heading back to school, which means families are now feeling the pressure to purchase those must-have items. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth now with how to smooth out the back-to-school shopping season.
It's only early August, but the rush is already on to buy school supplies.
We would have liked the list for when all of the supplies were on sale.
According to the Retail Council of Canada, back-to-school shopping habits have changed in recent years.
Only 19% of the people we talked to said they'll finish it in one trip. Most anticipate 2 or 3 shopping trips, and that reflects the need to compare prices, visit different retailers.
Many parents now buy school supplies in June.
Shopping stretches across the entire summer season, with younger families starting earlier.
Marie Robertson's daughter starts school in September, making this her first go-around as a school supply shopper.
It's something that we plan for. We have to fit it into the budget.
When she finally gets her list from the school for what she needs to buy, Robertson plans to take a slow, steady approach.
Start working on those, buy things in little chunks so that's not all one big price at once.
Not only has the time frame for school supply shopping started earlier, but some of these supplies are getting more expensive, putting pressure on many families. The back-to-school retail market in Canada generates $4.5 billion each year. With prices climbing, retail analyst Bruce Winder urges parents to adopt strategies to save money.
Waiting for sales, starting early to get the sales, thrifting more, trying to make items last maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years, so not replacing items as often.
Winder says the online market for school supplies is also growing, providing parents with choices and deals as the school year inches closer. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
It's not every day that I have to list island, especially in Laval.
Still ahead, a strange piece of real estate. If you've ever dreamed of owning an island, this could be your chance, but it may not tick all your boxes.
Pure Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen to Pure Country 94 on the free iHeartRadio app.
There is an island for sale in Laval, but you can't build anything on it, and it mostly disappears in the spring. But the current owners want $50,000 for it. CTV's Matt Gilmore has that story.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own private island? I bet it didn't exactly look like this in your mind's eye. A 10,000 square foot spit of land in the Rivière des Prairies. But if you don't mind trading white sand for rocks and shrubs, it could be yours for 50 grand.
It's not every day that I have to list an island, especially in Laval.
Of course, the exact size of the island depends on the time of year.
The island, sometimes the water is high, sometimes it's low. So it can change, like the island itself.
It's safe to say the property is located in a flood zone. Building on it is a non-starter, but broker Sasha DeSantis is looking for a different kind of buyer.
I think this listing would be great for someone who owns a waterfront, like one of the neighbors that has a waterfront and is worth maybe 2 or 3 millions already, and they just want to add an island to their home, to get value up because nobody has an island.
The current owners bought the island for $13,000 in 2023. They're now looking to flip it for a 285% profit, despite its limitations and the fact the city valuation for the property is just $400.
We already have a couple of buyers interested. I received like 3 or 4 offers already with different prices, different conditions. So we are looking at that right now.
It's not exactly an oasis in the sun, but whatever floats your boat. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
It's my dream to be here racing, and oh my God, look at me now, I'm here!
Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the more unique sporting events underway on ESPN 8's The Ocho. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 25 degrees.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Find your wild. More Bronco sports, more ways to roam this summer.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Time now to take one last look at the weather forecast and your wake-up weather. Expecting about 19 degrees, mostly sunny conditions with some clouds over the capital for the start of the day tomorrow, and then we do have a 40% chance of showers, the risk of a thunderstorm, and then getting nice and sunny for your Tuesday with that same high of 25 degrees, rain rolling in Wednesday and Thursday. Well, finally for us tonight, nothing gets the blood pumping quite like being chased by a T-Rex. I'm sure that's the case. Not that it's ever happened to me, but Danny New has more on some of the weird competitions at the Ocho.
Welcome to the epicenter of reptilian races. ESPN once again kicks off its annual celebration of the world's most eccentric sports with a 4-day event known as the Ocho.
Estela Nunez, the fellow Brazilian.
Competitions range anywhere from pillow fights
and T-Rexes away
to an annual event known as the T-Rex World Championship Races.
You can hear why you won.
For the second year in a row, I flew out to Seattle to serve as the on-air host for the broadcast. Uh-oh! Who's here? While grabbing behind-the-scenes footage of the roughly 300 competitors who traveled to Emerald Downs Racetrack last month.
It's my dream to be here racing, and oh my God, look at me now, I'm here!
Folks traveled from all over the country to sprint in an inflatable T-Rex costume and try to win a giant trophy.
Are you going to win?
No, I'm going to finish.
And that is winning.
Including 79-year-old Lance here. He ate me. Why'd you let him eat me? And 4-year-old Weston, who liked watching me get eaten a lot more than the dog behind us.
Oh, and the leader fell.
Of course, it can be a little dangerous to run with a bunch of carnivores, which is why it helps to bring support. For example, Andy here saw her entire family show up sporting Andy T-Rex t-shirts.
Why'd you get everybody organized to do this?
Because we love Andy and we wanted to support her. We thought this was awesome.
But if you're still wondering, why do people go through so much effort to come rumble and stumble as reptiles? Well, I think 13-year-old Lucas here put it quite eloquently.
It's a great opportunity, and my mom forced me to do this, so.
That's a great reason to do anything. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
The Ocho. Anytime I hear that, I just think of Dodgeball, the movie Dodgeball. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. I'm surprised we didn't see any Dodgeball highlights in that package, but I feel like I would have been lights out in pillow fighting. Maybe next year. Good night.